Have you ever felt that the harder you chase success, the more elusive it becomes, as if it's constantly slipping through your fingers? That the more relentlessly you strive for an elusive sense of happiness, the more utterly exhausted and profoundly empty you feel at the end of each day? In our fast-paced, hyper-connected modern society, we are perpetually bombarded with the subtle, yet insistent message to be faster, to be unequivocally better, and to accumulate more, as if our intrinsic worth as human beings is solely quantifiable by our speed of execution or the sheer volume of our achievements. What this relentless, often mindless rush causes us to tragically overlook and eventually lose perhaps the single most invaluable asset we possess, a deep and abiding sense of inner calm. We are led to believe that non-stop action, constant busyness, and frantic motion are the sole keys to unlocking success. Yet, true mastery isn't about running faster than every single person around you. It's about cultivating an unwavering, profound control over yourself, your reactions, and your inner world. Because when your mind is perpetually chaotic, you don't thoughtfully respond. You merely react often impulsively, without the clarity needed for wise decision-making. Or perhaps you find yourself, in the quiet moments of reflection at the end of a long day, wondering why your carefully crafted plans often seem to unravel. At the slightest hint of turbulence, why unexpected challenges send your emotions spiraling, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and out of control? As we navigate the complex landscape of our 30s and 40s, a period often brimming with demanding career trajectories, intricate family dynamics, significant financial responsibilities, and the subtle pressures of societal expectations, maintaining a steady inner compass can feel like an impossible feat. Many of us grapple with moments when seemingly minor criticisms trigger disproportionate anger, or an unforeseen situation ignites crippling anxiety. What if there was a timeless philosophy, a proven path, that could teach you not just to survive these emotional whirlwinds, but to stand firm, anchored in an unshakable inner peace, allowing you to choose your response with wisdom and clarity, no matter how intense the external storm? And for those of you who have reached the milestone of 35 to 45 years old, you've likely gathered a wealth of life experience, perhaps even celebrated significant accomplishments. Yet, underneath it all, does a quiet sense of restlessness persist? A feeling that despite all your efforts, something fundamental is still missing, or that lingering self-doubt continues to hold you back from truly living up to your full, authentic potential. This is an age when many seek a deeper purpose, a more profound sense of fulfillment beyond the daily grind. It's a period where the weight of past decisions, the sting of perceived failures, or the fear of future uncertainties can lead to a quiet exhaustion, a sense of being perpetually drained. What if the very struggles you face, the anxiety, the discomfort, the disappointments are not obstacles to your growth, but precisely the raw material from which true resilience, profound wisdom, and lasting success are forged? Welcome to StoicCraft, where we delve into the profound, enduring wisdom of Stoic philosophy to equip you with practical, actionable tools for navigating the intricate complexities of modern life. If you are truly ready to transcend your limiting beliefs, to cultivate an unshakable inner fortress of self-belief, and to reclaim absolute control over your mental and emotional landscape, then you have found your guiding light. Join us as we explore how a profound sense of calm isn't merely the absence of chaos, but the very foundation upon which you can build a life of purpose, resilience, and true, enduring success. 1. Don't resist. Go with the flow of life. In its unpredictable grandeur, rarely unfolds precisely according to our meticulously crafted desires. There are days, often without warning, when everything seems to unravel. When carefully constructed, plans are mercilessly derailed by forces that lie entirely beyond our sphere of influence. In these unsettling moments, the natural, almost instinctive reaction for many of us is to resist with all our might, to struggle against the tide, to ignite in righteous anger, or to vehemently demand that everything return to the familiar, comforting status quo. But Stoicism, with its profound and liberating insights, teaches us something entirely different. Do not resist. Instead, allow life, with all its inherent unpredictability, to flow, trying to forcefully bend reality to conform to our singular will isn't just an exercise in futility. It is, in fact, the very root cause of profound, debilitating stress. When we cling too tightly to our preconceived expectations, every minor deviation, every unexpected detour, feels like a catastrophic disaster. And the more intensely we resist, the more our minds grow weary, confused, and clouded, tragically losing the clarity and objective perspective we so desperately need to identify viable solutions. Calmness, on the other hand, actively cultivates a steady, expansive inner space, a tranquil sanctuary where we can perceive things precisely as they are, rather than through the distorted lens of how we desperately wish them to be. Picture a dedicated student meticulously preparing for a crucial, life-altering exam. They study tirelessly, day and night, charting every hour, every minute with obsessive precision. But just moments before the test is about to commence, the power suddenly flickers out, plunging everything into darkness. Their meticulously organized computer crashes. All their digital study materials become utterly inaccessible. In that exact moment, succumbing to panic or exploding in anger accomplishes absolutely nothing. It only serves to exacerbate the already challenging situation. However, if the student, with a surprising surge of composure, pauses, takes a deep, grounding breath, and bravely accepts that this unforeseen obstacle lies entirely beyond their control, they can then begin to strategically explore alternative options, perhaps borrowing printed materials from friends, meticulously reviewing handwritten notes, or simply reinforcing the knowledge they already possess within their memory. By consciously letting go of their initial resistance, they organically discover a new, viable path forward. Marcus Aurelius, that profound voice of ancient Stoicism, once penned these timeless words: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't merely a gentle reminder. It is the very core essence of true composure. Genuine strength doesn't reside in our capacity to control every external circumstance or dictate the unfolding of the world around us. Instead, it lies in our profound ability to control ourselves, our immediate reactions, our internal thought processes, and our unwavering inner calm in the tumultuous midst of chaos. And it is only when we consciously cease resisting the inevitable ebbs and flows of life that we genuinely create ample space for authentic success to flourish. Because true success doesn't miraculously emerge from forcing everything to conform precisely to our will. It stems fundamentally from our remarkable capacity to adapt, from our inherent agility to adjust seamlessly to constant change. Going with the flow isn't a passive act of surrender. It is, in fact, an incredibly intelligent and strategic choice to meticulously preserve our vital energy for those aspects of life that we genuinely possess the power to influence and change. Life, in its grand unfolding narrative, is much like a mighty river. Attempt to swim against its powerful, relentless current, and you will inevitably exhaust yourself into utter depletion. But when you learn to observe the current with calm discernment, when you thoughtfully choose your precise direction, when you consciously strive to stay afloat, and then gracefully move forward in your own unique, authentic way, that is precisely when you will embark on the longest, most meaningful journey. Calmness is not a state of passive indifference. It is a quiet yet formidable strength that unerringly guides us toward not only external achievement, but also profound inner success, not merely in the tangible results we accrue, but more significantly in the profound and transformative way we choose to live and continuously grow through every unpredictable twist and turn life inevitably present. 2. Calm your mind before taking action. There are countless moments in life when everything seems to accelerate at an alarming, almost overwhelming pace. A single, seemingly minor criticism can abruptly trigger an intense surge of anger within. An unexpected, unsettling situation can instantly spark a debilitating wave of anxiety. A formidable challenge suddenly confronts you, and almost instinctively, you react on sheer autopilot, often without truly thinking. However, in the profound philosophy of Stoicism, what truly matters is not the external event itself, but rather your conscious, deliberate response to it. And the most appropriate, most effective response can only emanate from a mind that has been meticulously calmed. Emotions, when left entirely unchecked and unexamined, are the undeniable adversaries of clear, rational reason. When we are consumed by intense anger, crippling anxiety, or overwhelming panic, our mind becomes profoundly clouded, much like a body of water that has been vigorously stirred up, preventing us from discerning what truly lies beneath the surface. That is precisely when we are most perilously prone to making impulsive, ill-advised decisions, uttering regretful, hurtful words, or engaging in actions that we desperately wish we could later retract. Calmness, far from signifying indifference or apathy, signifies giving yourself sufficient inner space and mental clarity to perceive things objectively, with unclouded vision. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest emperors and a profound Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This isn't merely an abstract philosophical theory. It is a powerful, urgent wake-up call to actively reclaim your personal agency. What truly triggers our distress isn't always the external event itself, but rather the unsettled, turbulent state of our own mind. When you are truly calm, you fundamentally reclaim absolute control over your perception. You gain the conscious ability to choose to interpret situations through a clear, rational lens rather than being hijacked by immediate, knee-jerk emotional reactions. Imagine yourself standing in front of someone you deeply cherish, a beloved family member, a dear, trusted friend. During a heated argument, they utter words that wound you profoundly. In that intensely emotional moment, you are presented with two distinct choices. You can either fire back impulsively in anger, risking irreparable damage to the precious relationship, or you can consciously pause, take a deep, grounding breath, and honestly ask yourself, what's truly at stake here? What's genuinely underlying this situation? That brief, intentional moment of stillness, that conscious decision to create space, possesses the remarkable power to preserve years of connection, preventing a casual remark from escalating into a lasting rift. That, precisely, is the profound power of composure, the innate ability to thoughtfully choose your response, rather than being passively driven by an automatic, unthinking reaction. Stoicism does not teach you to mechanically suppress your emotions or to become cold and unfeeling. Instead, it teaches you a more profound skill, to recognize your emotions for what they are, to give them adequate space to pass through you without consuming you, and only then to act with deliberate wisdom. Here's a simple, yet remarkably effective exercise. The next time you feel yourself on the verge of snapping, consciously take 3 slow, deliberate breaths and silently count from 1 to 10 in your head. In that brief, sacred silence, your inner wisdom is finally granted the opportunity to speak, guiding you toward a more constructive path. And finally, always remember this liberating truth. While no one can ever fully control external events or the actions of others, every single person possesses the inherent capacity to train themselves to control how they respond. And that ability, more than innate talent or fortuitous circumstances, is the definitive hallmark of enduring success. The profound ability to remain steady, grounded and clear-headed in the tumultuous face of life's fiercest storms. Once you've diligently learned to cultivate this invaluable skill of staying calm before taking action, the next pivotal step on the Stoic path is to embrace the profound freedom found in accepting the natural, ever-changing flow of life. It sounds deceptively simple, but within it lies a deep, liberating kind of freedom that very few individuals ever truly grasp. We'll explore that next. 3. Accept the natural flow of life in its magnificent, ever-unfolding complexity is remarkably akin to the relentless waves in the vast, boundless ocean. Sometimes the waters are tranquil and serene. At other times they are fierce and tempestuous, constantly shifting, perpetually changing. We cannot, by any stretch of human will, cling to a single static wave, yet we stubbornly, almost instinctively, keep trying to do precisely that. We yearn for things to remain exactly as they are, in a state of comforting predictability. But this is a futile endeavor. We simply cannot hold back the tide of change. When we meticulously observe nature in all its profound wisdom, we learn an undeniable truth. Everything follows a perfect, inherent order, a grand design that often eludes our immediate grasp. The fundamental problem, however, is that due to our deeply ingrained attachments and our subjective personal viewpoints, we don't always perceive this inherent order clearly. Our vision, much like looking through a dirt-smudged window, becomes clouded and obscured. I firmly believe that in general, we spend an inordinate amount of our precious time consumed by unproductive worry about yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's uncertainties. We dedicate countless hours to digital screens, computers, televisions, and other forms of media that relentlessly keep us distracted, relentlessly pulling us away from the vibrant, living reality of the present moment, which is precisely where real life, in all its raw beauty, is actually unfolding. Most of the time, we are merely busy attempting to satisfy our fleeting senses, frantically chasing an elusive sense of happiness from external sources. We seem to have tragically forgotten what genuine peace, profound contentment, and true, lasting happiness actually signify, and more importantly, where they truly originate. In the profound reality of our being, everything we could ever possibly need for such states of inner well-being already exists, fully formed within us. All that is genuinely required of us is the unwavering courage and profound willingness to begin looking and listening inward. And one of the very first, most liberating truths we will discern, if we manage to cultivate enough stillness to truly listen, is a quiet yet powerful reminder: accept the natural, ever-shifting flow of life. While this sounds remarkably simple in its articulation, in profound truth, it represents one of the greatest and most challenging inner hurdles we must conquer. Things will not always, unfailingly, unfold precisely as we envision or desire. Meticulously crafted plans will inevitably fall apart. People, in their human essence, will change and evolve. Environments and circumstances will shift and transform with each passing day. And while we stubbornly cling to the notion of how things should have been, life with its relentless momentum will inexorably move in a different, often unexpected direction. The more intensely we resist this inevitable flow, the more utterly drained and depleted we become. Stoicism does not advocate for a passive surrender to fate or a resignation to external circumstances. Instead, it teaches us to profoundly understand the inherent nature of life itself. It reminds us that everything is in a constant state of flux, and that not every aspect of existence is, or ever will be, within our direct control. As Marcus Aurelius, with his unparalleled wisdom, once wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs." This isn't merely a comforting phrase designed to soothe our anxieties. It is a powerful, transformative reminder. Sometimes the very disruptions and perceived setbacks that we desperately wish had never occurred carry within them the exact lessons, the precise insights that we fundamentally need in order to grow and evolve. Instead of reacting to change with paralyzing fear, choose to meet it with an open mind and a profound sense of curiosity. Treat every event, no matter how challenging, as a valuable lesson. View every perceived failure as a courageous chance to begin again, fortified by newfound wisdom. Picture a vibrant, ambitious company meticulously preparing to launch a revolutionary new product. Every detail has been painstakingly put in place. Then, at the very last minute, an unforeseen technical issue suddenly arises, causing an unavoidable delay. The usual, almost automatic reaction might be one of widespread panic, fervent blame-shifting, or pervasive stress. But what if the leadership, instead of succumbing to chaos, chooses to embrace a profound sense of calm? What if they choose to be completely transparent with their eager customers, openly communicating the delay, and then strategically utilize this unexpected pause to further refine and significantly improve the product? In such a scenario, not only is the ultimate outcome inherently better, but the invaluable trust between the company and its customers grows immeasurably deeper. Acceptance, then, is not an act of giving up or capitulation. It is, in fact, an active, courageous choice to consciously let go of what we undeniably cannot control, thereby liberating our energy to focus intensely on what we absolutely can control: how we choose to respond, how we choose to receive unforeseen circumstances, and how we consciously choose to move forward. Life does not owe us a perfectly written, neatly predictable script. But if we are calm enough to walk alongside its unpredictable flow, rather than fiercely fighting against it or desperately attempting to flee from its inevitable currents, we may come to realize that this very unpredictable flow is, in fact, the greatest teacher of all, and in its own profound wisdom, it may be gently leading us exactly where we truly need to go. 4. Reduce expectations to increase action. In my humble yet firm view, consciously expecting more from others than we demand of ourselves is a truly terrible and ultimately self-defeating idea. Yet it is a pervasive, almost epidemic way of living for countless individuals. I firmly believe that this approach is an undeniable recipe for perpetual disappointment and profound unhappiness. In the grand theater of human interaction, people often harbor dramatically higher expectations for others, far, far higher than the exacting standards they hold for their own conduct and capabilities. Sometimes you will even observe the stark irony of someone vehemently criticizing others for behaviors they themselves consistently exhibit. We are remarkably quick to demand absolute perfection from those around us, yet we readily conjure elaborate excuses for our own laziness, our chronic procrastination, or our undeniable shortcomings. This ingrained double standard doesn't merely damage our relationships. It tragically traps us in a constant, suffocating cycle of dissatisfaction, taught in the profound tapestry of Stoic philosophy. The ancient sages emphatically emphasized a deceptively simple yet immensely powerful idea. Instead of harboring inflated, often unrealistic expectations of others or even of yourself, consciously redirect your focus squarely onto purposeful action. Do what unequivocally needs to be done. Do it with unwavering dedication and to the absolute best of your ability. Then, with a profound sense of equanimity, accept the result for precisely what it is, without attachment or undue judgment. When you perilously pin your hopes and your intrinsic sense of happiness on external factors, such as fleeting praise, the pursuit of rapid, instantaneous results, or the elusive craving for public recognition, you are, in essence, placing your precious inner peace and your profound sense of contentment entirely in the capricious hands of elements that lie fundamentally beyond your control. And when things inevitably do not unfold precisely according to your stringent expectations, it becomes remarkably easy to succumb to feelings of profound discouragement, intense anger, or simply to give up altogether. Unwavering calmness simply cannot exist in a mind that is perpetually, obsessively disappointed. Therefore, reduce your expectations, not with the intention of living passively or settling for mediocrity, but rather to cultivate a life lived more deliberately, more purposefully, and with a far greater sense of inner tranquility. When you liberate yourself from the incessant obsession over outcomes, you gain the profound ability to channel your entire, unfiltered energy into the act of doing, into purposeful action itself. And when your focus becomes singularly and completely immersed in the act of taking action, you will naturally, almost effortlessly, perform at a significantly higher level, with greater depth, profound intention, and ultimately far greater impact. The compelling story of James Clear, the acclaimed author of the transformative book Atomic Habits, stands as a clear, illuminating example of this profound principle. Before he became a major, influential name in the self-development world, he was a promising baseball player who tragically suffered a serious head injury. He wisely chose not to set unattainable, sky-high goals like become a famous author overnight, or fully recover at all costs. Instead, with remarkable foresight, he chose to focus intensely on small, consistent daily actions, diligently reading books, meticulously jotting down insightful thoughts, and consistently writing concise blog posts, even if they comprised merely a few hundred words. Without frantically chasing spectacular, instant success, he steadily, methodically built intrinsic value, and the remarkable results that followed came later, naturally, as an organic reward for his unwavering commitment to the process itself. Calmness does not miraculously emerge from attempting to control every conceivable variable in your environment. It stems profoundly from the liberating acceptance that you simply cannot control everything, and often not even most things. When your expectations are consciously reduced, you begin to perceive with far greater clarity what you genuinely can do, right here, right now, in this present moment. And purposeful action, unequivocally, is the singular force that can truly guide you toward a meaningful, fulfilling version of success. What are your thoughts on this profound concept? Has rigid expectation ever led you to a profound sense of disappointment? Share your insights and your personal story in the comments below. I would truly love to engage with your perspective. 5. The power of silence. It is an undeniable, self-evident truth that silence possesses an immense, often underestimated power. And like any formidable form of power, it can be wielded for either profound harm or deep healing. Perhaps this inherent duality is precisely why human beings react to silence in such remarkably disparate ways. Some instinctively fear it, perceiving it as an unbearable, suffocating void. Others, however, deeply treasure it, recognizing it as a sacred, invaluable space for profound recovery, thoughtful contemplation, and genuine self-reflection. In the profound philosophy of Stoicism, silence is far more than just the mere absence of noise or the brief pause between uttered words. It is, in fact, a powerful, indispensable tool for self-mastery, a potent instrument for listening more intently, for understanding situations with greater depth and nuance, and for ultimately responding with wisdom and deliberate clarity. We are often ensnared by an almost overwhelming, compulsive urge to speak, to react impulsively, to reply instantly, without pausing for reflection. But a truly wise person a master of their inner world, consciously refuses to allow that fleeting urge to seize control. Silence, therefore, is not a sign of weakness. It is a profound and undeniable sign of inner strength. It graciously affords us the essential inner space to observe with calm detachment, to fully grasp the intricate nuances of a situation, and to discern critical details that others, caught in the intense heat of the moment, might tragically miss. Staying silent does not, by any means, equate to doing nothing. It signifies a strategic, intentional step back, allowing us a vital moment of perspective so that we can ultimately move forward with far greater clarity, purpose, and inner calm. When you consciously choose not to speak immediately, you are, in essence, granting yourself a precious opportunity to meticulously manage your own emotions. That, precisely, is the pivotal moment when you fundamentally shift from merely reacting to thoughtfully responding, from being driven by raw instinct to being guided by profound intellect. We are most perilously prone to making egregious mistakes when we are consumed by anger, gripped by anxiety, or deliberately provoked. But if you can, with unwavering resolve, choose to remain silent in that intensely charged moment, you are achieving a profound victory against yourself, a triumph over your lower, impulsive nature, and that, according to the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, is the most supremely important victory of all. Picture yourself as a customer service agent, having just completed a long, undeniably stressful shift. A customer calls in, their voice laced with clear, palpable fury, not merely complaining about the service, but resorting to harsh, intensely personal language. Your immediate instinctive reaction might be to push back vehemently, to defend yourself with equal fervor, perhaps even to abruptly hang up the phone just to protect your dignity. But if you choose with conscious intent to remain silent for a few crucial seconds, holding back your initial impulsive reaction, you are immediately taking back control. You take a deep, centering breath. You allow the person to vent their frustration, recognizing that their anger is likely not about you personally. You don't necessarily agree with the harshness of their words, but you profoundly understand that reacting impulsively will only serve to escalate the situation and make things demonstrably worse. And when their voice finally begins to soften, you respond, not from a place of raw emotion, but from a foundation of unwavering professionalism and genuine kindness, focusing squarely on solving the actual problem. The remarkable result? You don't merely diffuse the immediate tension. You make that person feel genuinely respected and truly heard, which is more often than not precisely what they needed far more than a heated argument. Silence is not a sign of inherent weakness. It is, in fact, a quiet, formidable strength. The truly strong person is not the one who talks the most, but rather the one who profoundly understands when to speak and, perhaps more critically, when to remain silent. The calm person intuitively grasps that not every perceived battle needs to be fought and won with words. Sometimes the real, most profound victory lies in preserving your inner peace, in holding steadfastly onto your authentic self, and in maintaining an unwavering focus on what genuinely matters in the grand scheme of things. Stoicism does not instruct you to become cold, detached, or emotionally unresponsive. It teaches you to pause, to cultivate a profound awareness of when words are truly necessary and when silence in its profound wisdom is the far wiser choice. Every single time you consciously choose silence over an impulsive, unthinking reaction, you are diligently training your self-control, one of the core, indispensable virtues that unerringly lead to genuine, lasting success. Thank you for staying with this video until now. We've made it halfway through, and if you're still here, it means you're genuinely serious about embarking on a transformative journey to become a better, stronger, more composed version of yourself. Let's move on to the next crucial part, where we'll learn how to courageously face uncomfortable emotions and proactively grow from them. And don't forget to leave a comment saying, "I will live a better life," as a powerful reminder of your unwavering commitment and to help us collectively build a strong, positive, and truly inspiring Stoic community together. 6. Accept discomfort and grow from it. We, as human beings, possess an almost inherent, insatiable craving for comfort and ease. But on the arduous yet profoundly rewarding journey of true growth and lasting success, it is precisely within the difficult, uncomfortable moments that we learn the most profound, transformative lessons about ourselves. Embracing discomfort, not merely enduring it and actively growing from it, is a powerful and frequently reiterated reminder from the wisdom of Stoicism. This philosophy does not promote blind endurance or a cold, detached indifference to pain. Instead, it courageously encourages us to face challenges with unwavering calmness, radical openness, and a genuine, insatiable willingness to learn from every experience. Marcus Aurelius, with his unparalleled insight, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He wasn't advocating for a naive avoidance of hardship or suggesting that difficulties magically disappear. Rather, he was brilliantly illuminating how we can strategically turn perceived obstacles into invaluable stepping stones. When we confront adversity, our minds instinctively tend to retreat, to seek the safety and familiarity of our comfort zones. But if we can consciously pause, observe the situation with calm detachment, and truly understand both our immediate emotions and the external circumstances, then, in that very crucible of hardship, we may uncover a completely new path. Sometimes the only path that ultimately leads to genuine, profound growth. Consider the compelling example of an athlete who has just suffered a devastating loss. In an important, high-stakes match, the bitter sting of defeat leaves them consumed by embarrassment and riddled with debilitating self-doubt. If they impulsively rush to avoid that excruciating feeling of disappointment, they are highly likely to repeat the exact same mistakes in future competitions. But if they possess the profound courage to simplicity with the sadness, to consciously accept that imperfection and setbacks are a natural, integral part of any journey towards mastery, they will then begin to perceive with chilling clarity what truly needs improvement. Perhaps a shaky technique, a flawed strategy, or how their mindset unfortunately reacted under intense pressure. From the act of courageously accepting that uncomfortable feeling, they learn invaluable lessons that effortless victories could never, ever teach them. Profound resilience, sustained growth, and a solid, unyielding foundation for future, lasting success. Stoicism teaches us that true calmness is not a state of passive indifference, but rather the powerful ability to recognize and acknowledge our emotions without being entirely swept away or consumed by them. When formidable challenges inevitably arise, and we observe our inner world with unwavering clarity, asking ourselves the right, probing questions. What can I learn from this? Is this truly within my control? We initiate a powerful alchemical process. We transform pain into invaluable knowledge and profound loss into unyielding drive. It is unequivocally not an easy path, but it is one that is immeasurably worth traversing. Success does not magically materialize from walking solely on smooth, unblemished roads. It stems instead from the profound ability to keep moving forward with unwavering persistence, even when the terrain becomes rough and unforgiving. Staying calm helps us cultivate an inherent resistance to being overwhelmed by negative emotions. And it is precisely in the act of accepting discomfort that we become undeniably stronger, deeper, and more profoundly human. In the philosophy of Stoicism, nothing is inherently meaningless, not even profound pain, if we possess the wisdom and the skill to utilize it as a potent catalyst for self-understanding, for continuous improvement, and for remaining steadfastly true to our long-term, most cherished goals. So the next time you find yourself experiencing an uncomfortable sensation, feeling profoundly confused or deeply disappointed, do not instinctively rush to push it away. Instead, consciously choose to look directly at it with an open mind and a courageous heart, because just beneath that discomfort there may be an invaluable, transformative lesson patiently waiting for you to uncover and embrace. 7. Practice gratitude. There is a quiet, yet deeply resilient and profoundly transformative force that exists, fully accessible within each of our lives, the practice of gratitude. When the external world around us feels utterly chaotic, when the relentless weight of expectations threatens to crush us, and when the chilling fear of failure looms large and menacing, it is gratitude that gently yet powerfully pulls us back from the precipice. It serves as a profound anchoring reminder that no matter how challenging or unpredictable things may unfold, we still possess an abundance of intrinsic worth, an endless wellspring of blessings truly worth holding on to and cherishing. In the profound philosophy of Stoicism, gratitude is far more than just a fleeting, pleasant feeling or a momentary sense of appreciation. It is in essence a daily, deliberate practice, one that deeply grounds us, meticulously clears our minds of distracting clutter, and fundamentally strengthens us from within. We often find ourselves caught in the endless, self-defeating loop of not enough, not rich enough, not skilled enough, not fast enough, not accomplished enough. The more relentlessly we chase what we perceive as lacking, the more restless and profoundly dissatisfied we become. But gratitude, in its beautiful simplicity, achieves the precise opposite effect. It systematically teaches us to consciously notice and appreciate what is present in our lives, rather than obsessively dwelling on what is missing. When you consciously pause to breathe, to give heartfelt thanks for a nourishing meal, for the comforting warmth of a ray of sunlight, or simply for the quiet, reassuring presence of a loved one, you are, in essence, allowing yourself to fully immerse in and genuinely live within the present moment. You cease the frantic, futile act of running after what isn't currently there, and that, precisely, is when a true, profound sense of inner calm begins to take root and flourish within your being. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once penned these timeless, deeply resonant words: "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." His words serve as a gentle yet piercing reminder. Do not become so utterly lost in the relentless pursuit of what you currently lack that you tragically forget to cherish and appreciate what you already hold. Because what you possess today, if it were suddenly taken away, would be precisely what you would yearn for the most. That ancient wisdom holds just as true now as it did millennia ago. It not only humbles us, reminding us of our interconnectedness, but also powerfully protects our minds from being ruthlessly swept away by the storm of insatiable ambition and comparison. And if you believe in a higher power, in God, gratitude transcends mere personal emotion. It is, in its profound essence, a sacred act. Every heartfelt thank you whispered to life is also a hymn of profound praise to the one who bestowed upon you the precious gift of breath, the boundless capacity for love, and even the formidable challenges that in their crucible inevitably help you grow and evolve. In the quiet, hallowed space of prayer, we don't merely discover fleeting comfort. We forge a profound, unbreakable connection to something immeasurably greater than human reason. And from that profound connection emanates the unyielding strength to persevere, to keep moving forward. You do not require a grand, monumental reason to practice gratitude. Sometimes a mere 3 minutes at the close of each day is more than sufficient to meticulously write down just 3 simple things that brought a smile to your face. Perhaps it was a surprise message from an old friend, an afternoon blessedly free of rain, or a fleeting moment of profound peace in the midst of overwhelming chaos. These seemingly small, consistent acts of gratitude slowly, yet powerfully, build a steady, resilient mindset, one that keeps you firmly grounded through life's inevitable ups and downs, and inexorably brings you closer to a kind of success that isn't loud or ostentatious, but deeply profound, meaningful, and lasting. If you are already practicing gratitude in your own unique way, or if you've experienced a specific moment that fundamentally shifted your perspective on the profound power of appreciation, please share your story in the comments below. Your personal narrative might be precisely what someone else desperately needs to hear, exactly when they need it most. 8. Reduce noise to focus on the core. Cal Newport, a distinguished university professor and the acclaimed author of the transformative book Deep Work, surprised countless individuals across the globe when he publicly declared that he deliberately abstains from using social media. No Facebook, no Instagram, absolutely no Twitter. In an era where a pervasive, almost religious, belief dictates that being constantly online is not merely beneficial, but utterly essential for survival and professional relevance, he courageously chose to step back, to consciously disconnect from the relentless, noisy stream of data that relentlessly sweeps everyone else away. And the remarkable result of this audacious choice? He consistently writes profound, intellectually rigorous books, teaches his students with unparalleled focus and clarity, and produces high-quality, impactful research. All these significant achievements stem directly from one simple, yet incredibly courageous choice, deliberately eliminating pervasive external noise to meticulously protect his inner focus. Cal Newport's compelling story isn't an anti-technology manifesto or a Luddite call to abandon modern tools. It serves as a powerful, timely reminder that in a world where countless digital and social stimuli relentlessly fight for your precious attention every single day, cultivating genuine calmness, the innate ability to filter out distractions, to stay still amidst the clamor, and to concentrate with unwavering intensity, is perhaps the greatest and most profound advantage you can possibly cultivate. We exist in a world where a simple phone notification can abruptly interrupt a profound thought in mere seconds. A world where people frantically attempt to squeeze in news updates at every free moment, yet paradoxically end up losing intimate touch with themselves, with their own inner landscape. In the very eye of that pervasive chaos, the individual who can maintain a profound sense of inner calm, who can remain resolutely focused on their core priorities, is, in essence, moving faster and with far greater purpose than everyone else. Caught in the digital maelstrom, thousands of years ago, the Stoics, with their profound foresight, already possessed a deep and nuanced understanding of this principle. Marcus Aurelius, with his timeless wisdom, once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Noise in our modern world is far more than just audible sound. It is the endless, relentless stream of information that relentlessly floods your mind every single day. Breaking news alerts, social media updates, pervasive gossip, the worries of other people, the relentless expectations of society. These insidious inputs keep your mind constantly busy, relentlessly occupied, but rarely, if ever, meaningfully engaged. You often feel profoundly drained, yet you cannot pinpoint the precise reason why. You feel as though you are constantly doing a tremendous amount, yet you feel no closer to achieving what truly matters to your soul. That is precisely why cultivating calmness is not merely about achieving a state of superficial peace. It is, in fact, a crucial survival and growth strategy. When you consciously pause, take a deep, centering breath, and bravely look at what genuinely matters to you, you are granting yourself a rare, invaluable gift: profound clarity. And from that bedrock of clarity, you can act with far greater impact, make significantly fewer mistakes, and move steadily, purposefully toward your most cherished goals, without being constantly sidetracked by irrelevant distractions. If you genuinely yearn for lasting success, then diligently learn to be profoundly silent amidst a clamoring crowd. Learn to courageously say no to everything that doesn't genuinely matter to your core purpose. Learn to assiduously keep the waters of your mind still and unruffled. Only when the surface of the water is perfectly calm can you truly discern the depths beneath. And only when your mind is truly calm can you perceive with crystal clarity what is genuinely worth living. FO 9. Use the breath as an anchor when we diligently learn to quiet the incessant noise, both within our own minds and in our external surroundings, and begin to focus intently on what truly matters. We inevitably open the door to a deeper, more profound state of inner calm. However, to consistently maintain that serene state in a world perpetually teeming with chaos, we require a steady, reliable tool, a mental anchor that we can immediately return to at any given moment. And that invaluable tool is not something complex, elusive, or beyond our immediate grasp. It is profoundly always with you, every single second, every single minute of your existence. That tool, in its beautiful simplicity, is your very own breath. Breathing is far more than just a mere biological act that sustains our physical existence. In Stoicism, as in many ancient philosophies, breath powerfully symbolizes life itself, and, by extension, the innate human ability to master oneself. Utilizing the breath as a constant anchor, a stabilizing force amidst the tumultuous waves of emotion, is a subtle yet incredibly profound and transformative practice. Because in moments of intense tension, when your heart races uncontrollably, when your thoughts spiral erratically, and when your emotions threaten to utterly overwhelm your logic, the very first and most effective action you can take is to consciously return to the steady rhythm of your breath. Here's a truly fascinating insight. Your body, in its innate wisdom, simply does not lie. When you consciously begin to breathe deeply, slowly, and with profound intention, your brain immediately registers that you are no longer in imminent danger. It systematically reduces the production of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, and simultaneously activates the parasympathetic nervous system, thereby initiating a profound sense of safety and inner calm throughout your entire being. Just a few deliberate, deep breaths possess the remarkable power to transform a potentially impulsive, regrettable moment into an invaluable opportunity to respond with profound clarity and wisdom. You can easily begin this practice with a simple yet highly effective exercise. Inhale deeply for 4 slow seconds. Hold your breath for another 4 slow seconds. Then exhale slowly and completely for 6 deliberate seconds. Consistently practice this simple sequence for just 2 minutes. Whenever you feel an unsettling sense of being out of control, the true magic, however, does not reside in the technique itself. It lies profoundly in the conscious choice you make, the choice to pause, the choice to intentionally return to yourself, to your inner sanctuary, instead of allowing yourself to be relentlessly swept up and consumed by the external chaos that surrounds you. When you consciously take absolute control of your breath, you are step by step, systematically taking profound control of your mind, and from that empowered vantage point, you begin to master your circumstances. Imagine you are facing a pivotal, important job interview. The very first question unexpectedly catches you completely off guard. Your heart immediately begins to race uncontrollably. Your palms become uncomfortably sweaty. But instead of succumbing to paralyzing panic, you consciously close your eyes. For a brief moment, take a deep, centering breath inward, and then slowly, deliberately exhale. Your mind almost instantaneously returns to a state of profound calm. You then open your eyes, look directly at the person across from you, and respond, not with frantic haste or debilitating fear, but with an unwavering sense of calmness and quiet confidence. That, precisely, is the profound power of an individual who intimately understands what they are truly in control of. In the world of Stoicism, success is not merely the tangible outcome or the final achievement. It is fundamentally how we manage to remain rational and clear-headed in the midst of overwhelming chaos, how we stay deeply grounded and anchored amidst the fiercest storms of life, and every transformative journey to a steadier, more resilient mind begins with something remarkably simple, the conscious, deliberate act of breathing. And then, once you've diligently learned to harness your breath as a fundamental foundation, an unwavering anchor for inner calm, you will be truly ready to move into the final, most profound part of this transformative journey, where we will uncover a timeless truth that every truly wise person understands deeply: the imperative to trust time and to trust the inherent process. But why is time, paradoxically, your greatest ally? Stay with me, because this is arguably the most profound and liberating insight of our entire journey together. 10. Trust time and the process after. Diligently learning how to meticulously cut out the incessant noise that bombards us and how to focus intently on what genuinely matters, we come to a profound, liberating realization. Calmness is not merely a fleeting state of temporary peace. It is, in fact, a solid, unyielding foundation that graciously allows us to traverse vast distances in life, to go the full measure without being relentlessly swept away by the emotional whirlwinds and unforeseen challenges that life inevitably, and often unpredictably, throws at us. When the mind is truly at ease, unburdened by anxiety and mental clutter, we begin to perceive an important, often overlooked truth with crystal clarity. Truly sustainable success, the kind that endures and truly transforms, never ever arrives overnight. That precisely is when we must courageously learn to trust time itself, and more importantly, to trust the inherent, unfolding process. In today's fast-paced society, where almost everything is meticulously designed for instant gratification and immediate results, from the rapid convenience of fast food to the fleeting, addictive feedback loops of social media, people are becoming increasingly, dangerously impatient with themselves and with the natural pace of life. We demand everything now. We yearn for fast learning, instantaneous success, and immediate, dramatic change. But real life and its profound wisdom simply does not operate in such an accelerated, demanding manner. True value, profound understanding, and solid, sustainable personal growth meticulously take time, often a significant amount of time, to slowly, organically take shape and fully mature. Just like a magnificent tree requires seasons of patient nurturing to firmly root itself and finally bloom in its full glory, we too fundamentally require a process, a journey of consistent effort to grow and ultimately become the fullest, most authentic version of ourselves we are inherently meant to be. Stoicism, in its timeless wisdom, does not promise quick fixes or instant results. Instead, it teaches us the invaluable virtue of patience. It teaches us to profoundly value each small, deliberate step we courageously take every single day, recognizing each as an absolutely essential and indispensable part of a much larger, long-term journey. It serves as a gentle, yet incredibly powerful reminder. If you haven't seen tangible results today, that does not in any way signify that you are failing. Sometimes the most profound, transformative change is quietly, imperceptibly happening deep within you, beneath the surface. When we impatiently rush, we are far more likely to make egregious mistakes, to stumble, and to become disheartened. A person diligently learning to paint, who rigidly expects their very first piece to be an absolute masterpiece, will quickly feel an overwhelming sense of frustration, begin to doubt their inherent abilities, and, tragically, eventually quit altogether. But if they profoundly understand that every imperfect stroke, every hesitant line, is still a valuable step forward, if they are patient enough to consistently show up each day, pick up the brush and courageously try again, then the skill, almost miraculously, will come. Over time, remarkable progress will inevitably happen, naturally and organically, not because of some sudden, miraculous breakthrough, but because of steady, unwavering, determined persistence. Trusting the process does not, by any means, imply being passive or idle. On the contrary, it emphatically requires active, conscious effort. It involves diligently setting clear, achievable short-term goals, meticulously tracking your progress, thoughtfully adjusting your methods as needed, and above all, not succumbing to despair or giving up when the ultimate desired results are not yet visibly manifest. Calmness plays a crucial role in helping us consistently maintain that vital rhythm. It keeps us steady, anchored, and resilient when we are powerfully tempted to compare ourselves to the perceived achievements of others, or to succumb to overwhelming outside pressure. As the wise Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This powerful quote reminds us that our true limitation is not the brevity of life, but the squandering of its moments. Picture yourself as a diligent farmer meticulously sowing seeds. Every single day you tenderly nurture the soil, diligently water it and vigilantly protect it from invasive pests. But you cannot, by any stretch of will, command the tiny seed to sprout faster. All you can genuinely do is stay consistent, diligently perform your essential part, and trust with unwavering faith that if you meticulously care for today, tomorrow will inevitably bear its fruit. That, precisely, is the calm confidence of an individual who profoundly understands that true success is not a fixed destination to be reached. It is, in its essence, a continuous unfolding process, meticulously unfolding step by step, day by patient day. Trust the inherent wisdom of time. Trust the profound unfolding of the process, and you will discover with profound clarity that patience is a quiet, yet incredibly formidable kind of strength, the kind that will lead you to destinations and achievements that frantic haste could never, ever reach. We've just embarked on a transformative journey through 10 profound and valuable lessons on cultivating calmness, a core, indispensable virtue in the timeless philosophy of Stoicism. From mastering our turbulent emotions to perceiving things precisely as they truly are, and from wisely distinguishing between what we can truly control and what lies beyond our grasp, each profound insight brings us immeasurably closer to living a clearer, a steadier, and ultimately a more truly successful life. Stoicism does not aim to render us emotionless or cold. Instead, it powerfully helps us to live more deeply, to understand ourselves with greater clarity, and to remain firmly grounded and unshakable amidst life's inevitable storms. Remember, Profound calmness is not some innate gift miraculously reserved for a select, fortunate few. It is, in its essence, a powerful skill that anyone can diligently develop and cultivate. And when you commit to practicing it every single day, you are taking steady, deliberate steps toward achieving success on your own unique terms, in the way that matters most authentically to you. So, how about you? In your daily life, what specific practices do you employ to stay calm when things don't go precisely your way? Has there been a specific moment when staying composed fundamentally altered the outcome of a challenging situation for you? Share your profound thoughts or your personal story in the comments below. I would genuinely love to read them and engage in a real, meaningful conversation with you. If you found this content helpful and insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos, where we'll continue to explore the depths of inner strength and personal mastery through the profound, illuminating lens of Stoicism. And don't forget to check out the next video showing on your screen right now.